Hello and welcome into this week's edition of The Pole Position right here on Racing News Now. As always, I'm your host, Garth Allen. Thank you once again for joining me today. If this is your first time catching a Racing News Now video, consider going down below to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications so you don't miss a thing going forward from RNN. On today's Pole Position, we're looking back at everything that happened this past weekend from NASCAR. We had 3 races from the Bristol Motor Speedway this weekend. IndyCar was in action from Barber Motorsports Park in Birmingham. NHRA was in action from Vegas, and World of Outlaws had 2 races this weekend as well. So as usual, we're going to start off with the NASCAR stuff. We're going to start off with the first race of the weekend from Bristol. That was the Xfinity Series, the Allsco 300. 300 laps. 159.9 miles around the half-mile Bristol Motor Speedway in Bristol, Tennessee. Christopher Bell picks up win number 2 for the season for that 20 team. In this one, leading 57 laps on his way to the victory. Tyler Reddick came home in the second position, Cole Custer third, Chase Briscoe fourth, but both Stewart-Haas cars in the top 4, and John Hunter Nemechek rounded out the top 5. Rest of your top 10, Austin Cindric, Justin Haley, Michael Annett, Noah Gragson, and Harrison Burton with a top 10 run in his first Xfinity start. Now, before we move on from the Xfinity Series, one note here, Justin Allgaier led the most laps, 138 laps in this race, but ended up having to settle for a 30th place finish after engine issues caused him to slide up into the wall and basically end his race all too early. It was not meant to be for Justin Allgaier, but a very strong run out of him, and I think probably the strongest run we've seen out of that 7 car so far this season. Second race of the weekend from Bristol was the Zombie Auto 150 for the K&N Pro Series East, 150 laps, 80 miles around the half-mile Bristol Motor Speedway. Sam Mayer led every lap in this race, all 150 of them wire to wire, to win his first K&N Pro Series race. He was followed across the line by Chase Cabra in second, Brandon McReynolds third, Drew Dollar in the fourth position. Spencer Davis rounded out the top 5. Rest of your top 10, Derek Kraus, Colin Garrett, Mason Diaz, Rafael Lessard, and Tanner Gray. Bottom 4 spots in this race. A lot of heavy hitters in this getting taken out early in this one. Haley Deegan only made 113 laps in this race. She finished in 16th. And then after a lap 1 incident, 17th through 19th, the bottom 3 positions in the field were Ruben Garcia, Riley Herbst, and Natalie Decker. Final NASCAR race of the weekend was the Food City 500. 500 laps, 266.5 miles around Bristol Motor Speedway. Kyle Busch takes win number 54 in the Cup Series, 3rd of the season in 8 races. An incredible start to the season for Kyle Busch, not just in the Cup Series, but across all 3 National Series. He's got it turned up to a whole new level to start this season. Love him or hate him, I think you better get used to him winning this season, because it doesn't look to be stopping anytime soon. His brother Kurt followed him across the line in second, Joey Logano in third, Ryan Blaney in fourth to put 2 Penske cars in the top 5, and Denny Hamlin rounded out the top 5 to put 2 Gibbs cars in the top 5. Rest of your top 10, Paul Menard, Clint Bowyer, Daniel Suarez, Ryan Newman, and Jimmy Johnson with another top 10 finish. 48 car does seem to be clicking off some good finishes here. It does seem that the 48 team could possibly actually be back. Alright, that'll do it for the stock car stuff from the weekend, so let's move on now to the open wheel stuff from the weekend. IndyCar was in action this weekend, 3rd race of the season for the Honda Indy Grand Prix of Alabama. 90 laps, 207 miles around the 2.3-mile road course at Barber Motorsports Park in Birmingham, Alabama. Takuma Sato takes the victory in this one, his first of the season. Followed closely across the line by Scott Dixon and Sebastian Bourdais on the podium. Rest of your top 5 were Joseph Newgarden and Alexander Rossi. Rest of your top 10 were James Hinchcliffe, Marcus Ericsson, Ryan Hunter-Reay, Simon Pagenaud, and Felix Rosenquist with another strong run in his rookie season there for Chip Ganassi. Alright, now moving on to the straight line stuff from the weekend. NHRA was in action for the Denso Spark Plugs NHRA Four Wide Nationals from the strip at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. flash up all the winners on the screen here as we usually do for the NHRA, and we'll go over the more prominent classes here. Top Fuel winner was Mike Salinas. Funny Car was J.R. Todd. Your Pro Stock winner, Bo Butner. Super Stock winner down here was Anthony Bertozzi. And you can look through the rest of these. If there's a particular class that you are interested in, you can see who won in that class as well. All right, now final thing of the weekend. We've done all the paved stuff. Now let's move on to the dirt track scene for the weekend. The World of Outlaws was in action twice this weekend. First on Friday from USA Raceway in Tucson, Arizona for the Wildcat Shootout. Brad Sweet claimed his first win of the season and his 35th career World of Outlaws win overall at USA Raceway. He bested last year's Rookie of the Year Ian Madsen to get it. Madsen took the early lead of the race and looked to be en route to his second win of the year. However, he hit lap traffic early, slowing his pace and allowing Sweet to eventually catch him. Once Sweet took the lead, he never looked back. Madsen finished second, and David Gravel rounded out the podium from USA Raceway. And that leaves us with Saturday's action, the Arizona Desert Shootout from the Arizona Speedway in Queen Creek, Arizona. David Gravel claimed his second victory of the 2019 season and his 41st career World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series victory in the number 41 Jason Johnson racing car. His win came in a thrilling duel with Brad Sweet and Sheldon Hodenschild halfway through the 30-lap feature for the lead. With help from lap traffic, he passed Hodenschild for the lead and never looked back. Sweet ended up second, and Hodenschild rounded out the podium. And that'll do it. That's all we got for you from this weekend in the world of motorsports. So we do have rewind shows for all three of those NASCAR races this weekend from Bristol. They're linked down below in the description if you missed out on those. They do have a much more in-depth look at those races, much more in-depth than we do here on Pole Position. So if you want a little more than just the top 10 from those races, the rewind show is where you go. Again, they are linked down below in the description. Diecast review coming up as usual on Wednesday. Not 100% sure what this week's is. I think it's Chase Elliott's Watkins Glen win from 2018. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think that's what it is this week. Then we're back live at the track this weekend from Salem Speedway in Salem, Indiana for the ARCA Menard Series third race of the season, the Kentuckiana Ford Dealers 200. So you're going to see a lot of coverage going up this weekend from that. It is a two-day show, practice and qualifying on Saturday, and the race on Sunday. So keep an eye out for a lot both days this weekend. So that being said, if you haven't already done it, you need to go down below, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications so you don't miss a thing going forward from R&N. We got lots coming up for you. Big announcement coming here in the next probably couple of days as to something really cool coming up next week. We're putting the finishing touches on editing something really cool for you next week, so keep an eye out for that. And yeah, if you haven't subscribed, you need to, because like I said, we've got the live stuff coming up this weekend. We've got more cool stuff coming up after that, so you need to be subscribed and have that bell rung for notifications. But while you're down there, you need to hit that big thumbs up button if you like the video also. It's much appreciated when you do that. But at that, this has been the Pole Position, where you always start on the front row. I'm Garth Allen for Racing News Now.